Hey everybody, Ray Davenport, your Director of Sports Performance, and today I want to talk about one of my favorite mobility drills to work on the soft tissue in the posterior chain. All we're going to need is some sort of mobility ball, whether it be a lacrosse ball or a larger ball. For our purposes today, we're going to use a 5.5 inch diameter ball, and then a hard surface, whether it be a chair or a box of any kind. So grab those two things, find your space, and we'll get started. All right, so we've got our box. We've got our mobility balls. Like I said, I'm going to use the larger one today. It's a little easier to get into that tissue. So we can just set this other one to the side. All we're going to do here is work our knee through extension. So that is just locking out the leg there at the top. We're going to place this ball underneath our leg, between our leg and the hard surface. So again, a chair at home is a really good way to do this, or you can find a box here in the gym. Sitting up tall and leaning back as much as you need to allow for full knee extension. We're going to work that leg through full range here. Now it's important to, again, as I said, make sure that we've got good posture and make sure that you're breathing as we go through about 10 to 15 reps. And the reason we do this, if you've ever struggled with tightness of the hamstrings, it might not be that you are lacking in mobility, so we'll move it over to the left. It could just be that that tissue's gotten a little junky or gotten stuck over time. Now that we've addressed any soft tissue dysfunction on that posterior chain, on that back of that hamstring with our leg extensions, we're going to move on to the activation sequence and the kind of active lengthening of the muscle. So I've got my yoga strap here for a little bit of assistance. We're going to do what's called assisted leg lowering, but it will also involve raising that leg. One of the things that I do want you to focus on as you do these is keeping a neutral spine. So as we lean back, making sure that our back is flat, checking our position at the bottom, right? Neutral spine, core engaged. This leg is on stretch. And then all I want you to do, bring that leg up to the top to the start. We're going to float it down, keeping everything stable, using an inhale as we lower and exhale as we pull back up. And we're going to work on this lengthening, right? This kind of split leg position to work through. You should feel as that leg lowers a slight engagement of the stretch sequence, okay? So when we practice active leg raises from the floor, and we'll demonstrate that on the tail end here for testing the length of that hamstring, we'll be able to hopefully improve that over time. Okay, so the active leg raise, if we're laying flat, is how far can I bring that leg, this is hip flexion, actively. So that the restriction in the posterior chain is going to impact that. If I pull it a little further, that's getting into more of a passive range of motion. So what we're looking at today is just active. How far can you pull that leg without changing position? And if we're experiencing restriction, obviously my right is a little bit better than my left, then we need to work on it. So try that out, and if you need to, check in over time as you improve. If that laying on your back or you don't have a strap at home and you want to test it, kind of a good baseline, if you ever did the presidential fitness test as a kid, is can I touch my toes? So you can always sit here, legs straight, and reach forward. And if you can get those, usually going to be okay, but obviously the back flexion of the spine comes into play there. So if you have any back dysfunction, don't do that test, okay? Keep those hamstrings healthy. I promise you're going to feel better. Might even take some tension off those knees. If you have any questions about mobility in general, but specifically the stuff we cover in this video, the exercises and the soft tissue work, please reach out to me. I'm happy to help you however I can.